Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. Today on the show, I interview local artist Jamika Ajalon. She is a writer, an educator, she does it all, and today we talk about her creativity and how you can find your inspiration anywhere. So welcome to the show. How are you doing today, Jamika?
Really great. Thanks for inviting me on. I'm glad to be a part of
I'm excited to
this.
talk to you. Yeah, you've done so much. You're like a multifaceted artist. You're an author, you make music, you do all sorts of things. But I want to go back to the start of what brought you to Paris. Where are you originally from?
Well, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. I lived in Chicago.
Nice.
I lived in Chicago and it's kind of kept going east. New York. I did my master's in London and eventually relocated to France. But I actually started out in Pays de Loire in Angers. And what brought
Okay.
me there was the fact that I was working 2 points. I was working with a band that was based in that town, that province, and
Hmm.
their producers wanted to help me with a solo album. So at the time, I was like, well, let me just move there for a year, and here I am. Here, like 10 years, more than 10 years later. That was back in 2008. Yeah, yeah,
Wow. More than 10 years for sure.
yeah.
That's like, so everything just kind of fell into place. Like you ended up wanting to stay. This happens so often. I feel like to people who move to France, they say, I'm going to come for a year, and then they end up staying for
Yeah,
decades.
I mean, the thing is that I moved to Europe, and when I did my master's in London, I knew I was going to stay in Europe. So for me, being in Europe, which includes France, it was like a kind of thing that I knew I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to stay on this side of the pond for a while. I don't think I could have ever
Hmm.
imagined that I'd be here this long, perhaps. But I do know
Yeah.
that I was really ready to be away from America for a while. I moved to Europe with the intention of staying for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how has France influenced your work? I mean, you're doing so many different things. You're crossing mediums. How has your work evolved from being here?
Um, Interesting. I think that what has France the thing about France, I find France, what I enjoy about France, some of which is kind of disappearing now, is that it's a very ludic culture, and there's a lot of space for, or there used to be a lot more space for artists, known or unknown, to find a way to show their art, to perform. There were a lot more, a lot of uh, funding in this city for
Hmm.
art and culture. Okay, that's changing a little bit now, but I think in the psyche, French psyche, art and culture is like paramount. It's like there can be no life
Yeah.
without it. And I think it's reflected, yeah, in the ideology and the lifestyle, you know? Um,
Hmm.
so there's that. Being in Europe, I've now, well, okay, we're gonna stick to Paris and France. Being being here has, oh wow, I don't know, it's one of those things. It's like I'm in love with this place and I also hate it. I've been here so long. I don't hate it, but I'm disappointed. Like you would be in any place that you love or any lover that you have. There's always going to be some things, that you
Yeah, that annoys.
that annoys you. Exactly. And but here I've also, because that was part of my raison d'etre for leaving, is to find people that were not American, you know,
Hmm.
who were of a similar
Yeah.
spirit. as I, and to see things outside of that American bubble. I mean, being anywhere outside of America can lead you to that. But here, there's also a very strong literary scene. And in fact, it wasn't until I moved to Paris and had been in Paris for a couple of years that I started hanging with the Anglophone scene. So, in
Yeah.
some ways, in a very big way, being here in Paris opposed to, say, Angers, I had met people who probably I would never ever hang out with in, in the States, maybe our circles wouldn't have crossed.
Yeah.
And two, um, being here, I've met some incredible artists and writers who, like, unlike when I was in Angers, yeah, people could speak English. I didn't have that kind of immediate feedback on especially my written work. Do you see what I mean? People could get the gist of it.
Hmm.
But so that was really kind of crucial to the further development of myself as a writer. Mm.
So you found a great artistic community here in
There
Paris.
is. It's kind of like different pockets. There's different pockets going on. I mean, I think that mm, it's sometimes it's a little bit segregated, which I don't like, but there is a mixture. When I say segregated, I'm not speaking specifically of race, so that's a whole nother story. I'm speaking about
Yeah.
between the Anglophone and the Frenchophone and the
Yeah,
baguette heads.
true.
Uh,
I
uh,
like the baguette heads. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like what you say. There's like niche groups or
mm.
like a hierarchy of like cool kids, or how do you feel about that?
Um, well, the cool kids, I think that I don't even know. Maybe I'm a part of them, maybe I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know because I
Yeah,
didn't like I kind of fell into the like I said, it wasn't my first stop in France, like the Anglophone
yeah.
community. I just started meeting people and I was like, oh fuck, it's kind of cool to actually be around people whose first language is English. Sometimes.
Exactly.
But
A writer writing it.
yeah, I mean, but come on. I think there's always going to be egos whenever you have artists, and
Yeah,
anywhere you place them, any village you place them
yeah,
in,
it's
it doesn't matter. Like if you can bring like your Americanness here, and sometimes that happens with people. I mean, I think I discovered I was really American once I was in France, once I was in Europe, actually.
mhm.
Because when I was in America, I didn't really feel that way. I don't want to ramble too much
Yeah.
because I know you've got some other questions to ask me.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. So, based on all the things you do, writing,
Hmm.
music, poetry, which one are you most focused on?
Well, I've always said that my writing is the base of everything. I use the other
Yeah.
mediums as an extension of that pen. And part of my practice reflects very much a philosophy I had since I started working like pretty much full time as an artist in my 20s and 30s.
Wow.
Uh, w- of of uh of things being mercurial and blending and not fixed
Hmm.
into one
Hmm.
thing or another, and very much the way that I think and the way that I experience my creativity. I mean, I'm not a painter. I use it as like sort of
Hmm.
sometimes I'll throw some paint on a canvas for therapy. Excuse my language,
It's
sorry.
fun.
But like
Yeah.
it's a matter of this merging and this like it's kind of a practice that's energetically centered towards um challenging what we considered fixed and
Hmm.
immovable.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, mixing things up.
Yeah, like mixing things up. That's part of it. Yeah, mixing things up. That's true, but it's more about it's that, but just it's kind of reflection of what we really are and constant transition. And I think that we like language is a beautiful thing, but it's also a cage because it really defines a lot of how we perceive things. Um, uh,
Hmm.
and why we are poets is that we use language in a way that's different than its literal meaning, right? We're breaking it open to a
Yeah.
truth, and a truth that is always fluid.
Yeah.
It's not something that is stuck in one place, if you see what I mean. It's all about, like,
Yeah.
if I were to,
I-
a French philosopher that really, when I discovered him, was like, yes, thank you. I needed your language, was Deleuze, you know,
mhm.
with his ideas
Yeah.
around becoming. Okay. Yeah.
So, do you believe that poetry should be difficult to decipher? Do you believe
Oh, hell
the
no.
listener should have to
Hell
feel
no. I don't think that at all.
it?
I think that people who think that the only real poetry is the poetry that you have to, like, sit there for hours and try and figure out are liars.
Mhm.
They're lying to themselves and they're lying to other people. You can find poetry in one word, well placed, right? A one word well
Yeah.
placed
Right.
is can be an entire poem. And that has nothing to do with, it has everything to do with accessibility. As far as I'm concerned, all art,
Mhm.
even like the difficult passages of some writers, you can tell when there's a spirit there. You might not get exactly what it is on a material level, what is going on, but you know it, you can feel it. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
when you could tell,
There's an energy.
yeah, there's an energy vibe. So there's a difference from people who write intellectual poetry trying to prove how much they understand the philosophy of this, that, and the other, and those who use maybe the same kind of references but have integrated it into their own experience, and then out comes something that's true.
I like that. Walk me through your creative process. So you're sitting down to write a poem. Where do you start? Do you have any kind of process you always go through?
I start with a big fat spliff. I'm just joking.
True artist.
um, like it depends. Like if someone is, it's like that's a weird question because poems like often have they often like sort of like come to your own head. So it's not like you're going, okay, now write a poem. But
Yeah.
I have been asked to do like pieces on specific subjects. Like there's a piece that I call White Birch Blues, which started out as a song. It started as a poem, and then I made it into a sonic piece, and then I made it into a sonic video piece. Okay, that's kind of the
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
my processes. So when that happens, or if I have a theme that I'm really obsessed about and I want to write some series, I do like reading and research and watching movies and going out there and seeing what comes. Because sometimes when it's an important part of the process to let ourselves just soak in stuff and live. Um, is when
Hmm.
we're trying to force something out, a lot of times, then you're just going to end up being frustrated. After that, like free
Yeah.
streaming, not free streaming, you can stream this for free. No, no, you know what I mean. Like stream of consciousness is another way to break through. Like I try to, for me, it's like a really important part, especially if I'm blocked and it's not something that comes through quite easily, is to write everything around whatever the theme is and not censor myself,
Hmm.
not like judge, which is
Hmm.
hard. Oh, that was crap what I
Yeah.
wrote. Mary had a little lamb. Oh shit, that's so cliche, right? But you have to write the Marys had a little lambs and all the little shits to get to the diamonds. Most of all, it's about trusting
Hmm.
that process. And sometimes you have to put the damn poem away and come back to it and realize there's a diamond. Because sometimes we overwork
Hmm.
and we rework, we look at the piece, and eventually it sounds like cardboard to our ears. So we have to put it away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Walk away.
yeah, bring it back. Mm,
What is the role of a poet in today's society? What do you think
mm.
you should be doing? How should you be influencing people, or what do you hope to do with your work?
Um, mm, I don't know, like in today's society or everyday society or from the beginning of time, seems to me that artists are there to be a part of evolutions, like people evolving to the next level, to be a
Oh
part of
yeah.
healing, a part of inspiring, a part of igniting inspiration and joy. And I think Yeah, and also all those difficult feelings and all those difficult situations, to get people
Mm-hmm.
to think for themselves. Also,
Yeah.
that's a delicate balance, I guess. Um, and I know that uh, the work process becomes more and more apparent to me the more that I get into process and trusting my own process, how that often reflects even some own subconscious and internal processes that I'm going through. So I think we're here to kind of help
Mm-hmm.
each other get through it. You
Yeah, it's
know,
like a form of therapy.
it can be a form of
Yeah.
therapy, but it's not just like, because I have this sounds so uh, moo moo or woo woo or whatever the word is.
Yeah, woo woo.
Yeah, moo moo woo woo. I'm gonna call it moo moo. It sounds so that, it's not just the therapy. It's kind of like, we're living in a world where we separate so many different things. It's like eating a good meal can be therapy. That's nourishment. It's
Mm-hmm.
nourishment, you know. We're nourishing each other. Uh
Yeah.
and hopefully leaving some stuff, some instances behind that gives a snapshot of who we are and who we were, that can feed into the next people who are alive, to hopefully evolve
Mm-hmm.
as a humanity. I mean,
Yeah, just building on those ideas and those thoughts.
yeah, yeah.
And what are some places that really inspire you in Paris? Is there anywhere you like to go to find inspiration?
I really love Saint Denis, to be honest with you. That's the suburbs of Paris.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I love it because of its mixture of different types of people. It's really under gentrification now, but still, it makes me feel I guess it's an environment that reminds me of like Brixton when because I lived in London for 10 years before France, or like Harlem, or like what it used to be anyway, etc. And I need that mixture, you know. I need that
Hmm.
kind of different energies to nourish a voice uh,
Yeah.
there. So that's one of the places. I do love any number of things. Let me see. I always hang out like along yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Let's say Saint Denis. I mean, there's always different places, little cubby holes that, because my sense of direction, even though I've been living here for years, I can't tell you exactly where it is. Somewhere
Yeah,
near
that's all,
Belleville,
right?
near the
Oh,
Milton.
yeah, you just
There's
lost
little
it.
places there, there's
Yeah, yeah.
little, what else? Yeah, those are I really like the some urban settings, the urban settings that
Yeah,
inspire
yeah.
me more so than the view. Like, I could say
Yeah.
Sacre de Coeur, ça m'inspire,
Yeah.
la poésie. No.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's about the people and mixing things up.
Yeah, it's about the people and mixing things up. There you go. You got a line.
And how do you define creativity in your own words?
Hmm. Well, I think creativity is an impulse that comes from the same place of love.
Oh, I like that. Impulse. So we all have it in
Oh,
us.
yes. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for creativity.
Yeah. It's why we evolved.
Yes, and that's how we were born. I mean, it's all connected. Again, it's like this thing of this tendency of us to be so stuck in this or that's polarized, not just polarizing things, like just all of the compartmentalizing that we do. It's sometimes
Mhm.
necessary, especially living in the matrix we've created so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need it. And why do you think creatives are attracted to France specifically, to Paris specifically? I mean, so many artists have come here
I
and
don't
evolved
know,
here. Why?
because I wasn't even thinking about Paris when beginning of my career. I was like going, oh, I want to go to Paris and write. No.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
It just
No, I
happened.
went to London because it was let me just, I'm not going to circle back to Paris, right? And why people think about it. But I went to London because I was studying, and I knew from there it was a launch pad to see a lot of Europe, and it's closer to lots of a lot of countries in Africa, to the continent Africa and Eastern Europe and everything, everywhere else in the world, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I jumped over to be inspired that way. Now, Paris, of course, we know it has a romantic thing. It's a for
Hmm.
artists. It's got the reputation. Look at all the artists that come out of this place, you know, and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
narratives that are created around it. And I think that it's like it's that kind of romanticism that brings a lot of people here. What makes them stay will end up being something completely different. Because once you get here,
Yeah.
it's another story. And I really like the way James Baldwin talks about it a bit, and like when he's looking through Giovanni's room. I recommend anybody who's especially an American over here in Paris, to read Giovanni's room, because he talks about the different complexities of being a stranger in this land here, you know, and also the
Hmm.
duplicity, and also he's a good author in terms of understanding, who was able to talk about the if you want to call it a conundrum, it can be a conundrum and a blessing and a curse,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
uh like, for instance, I completely am at home here because I've been living here most of my adult life now. In America, I'm at home because that's where I grew up. But there's that in-betweenness. It's that in-betweenness that
Yeah.
can be uncomfortable and liberating at the same time.
I like that. Uncomfortable and liberating at the same time. That's very true. And what advice do you have for people looking to find their creative gifts or try something creative? I mean, many people don't know what they're good at yet. What would you say to those
It's
people?
always important to tap into your kid. What makes you laugh?
Mhm.
Finger painting.
Mhm.
You remember finger painting? Then go finger paint and see what that leads you to.
Yeah.
We don't have to think about in terms of writer, painter, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, filmmaker,
Yeah.
interdisciplinary artist. No. Creativity is expansive. It can come in many different forms, you know, so
Yeah.
uh that is what it is. It's just like trusting your inner child, what makes your inner child laugh. Not to sound too woo,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
but you know,
It's all about like you have to get back to playing like when we were kids.
yeah, because that's what it is. And we've lost playing. It's not like playing is something you get after working. It's not like a, what do you call it, the reward you get after working. No, work should be
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Work
Yeah.
should be play.
Yeah. I like that.
And even though I have to admit, this is just a real thing. Being an artist, especially when you start making a bit of money off your art, or if that's the only thing you're doing, then you're gonna try and survive somehow from it.
Mhm.
That whole fucking matrix of capitalism can cramp that initial play thing, you know? So I
Mhm.
guess the reason why I'm bringing
Yeah.
this up is because, like, for those who aren't searching for the creative, and also those who are, but never to always tap back into it. Like, when it becomes too much work to the point where there's no
Yeah.
joy and no, you know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
then we want us to rethink about what one is doing.
Get back to the fun of it, not about the money.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a mixed bag. It's like we live in this matrix where success is about recognition. And I think the first thing is to decide what success is for you outside of that. And
Mhm.
then once you get to that point, then you can kind of divorce yourself a little bit from that thing, you know? That's
Mhm.
that thing, that thing. Anyway.
Yes. And how do you keep your ideas and creativity evolving? Like, what helps you to keep changing and coming up with new ideas?
Um, Masturbation. It is a good thing. It relaxes you.
All right, guys, get to
Get to
it.
it.
You want to get some
You want to get some creative ideas going? Start wanking.
Yes.
But no, I think like anybody, like I've had, it's just a process because you have to learn to trust. I think a big part of growing and evolving as an artist is learning to trust your own process, getting to know your own process and trusting it. Because it
Mm-hmm.
is not always like I always like I can get really frustrated. I haven't written a good poem or something good that I think is good or something lately, or I have nothing that I'm obsessing over in terms of a project. You see what I mean? It could be like,
Yeah.
oh fuck,
Yeah.
it's over. It's over now. The drama.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like it's no, it's just like a cycle. We are all we're like a part of the fucking cosmos, the earth, the everything, and everything around you works in cycles. So why don't you think you work in cycles? Of course you do.
Yeah.
We're not any better than the ground we walk on, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very.
so yeah, that's I think that's the thing, and I'm not saying I have to work at that balance. It's not something that is like automatic at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. We need periods of rest, we need periods of ideas, and then we have action.
Exactly, you have to allow for
And
gestation. You
yeah,
do.
yeah, it's so and especially in today's world, artists and creatives are expected to provide all the time, more and more and more,
Content,
you know, with
content,
social
content,
media.
content, content.
Content, content, content. Yeah, it's exhausting and you get burnt out pretty quick.
Well, it's like feeding another way of feeding the machine, which is like,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, I operate on the social. Actually, I just took like a week or two break from social media because I just needed to because I was
Yeah,
dealing with enough stress, and it's also just good to stop seeing what people are posting, you know,
yeah,
and all of that
take breaks.
fucking manipulation is those sites, as we
Yeah,
know, are designed to manipulate us, and meanwhile, we're
yeah.
just fucking making people like Elon Muskie rich. I mispronounced his name on purpose. And one word, if you're listening,
Yeah.
Elon, I have one thing to say to you. Listen to that track by Gil Scott Heron called Whitey on the Moon. I just don't give a shit about you. I know
I hope that Elon listens to our podcast.
he probably won't. But anyway, well, I don't know. Maybe you never know. You know, because that
Never
motherfucker's
know.
ears, fucking shit is that. That's the thing. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent there, so I forgot the
Yeah.
original question.
Well, bring it back to you. Where can people listen to your work, connect with your work, and follow you on social media when you are on there?
I am shitty at updating and doing that thing, but I'm on everything as Jamika Ajalon. Okay, I don't really use Facebook, so Instagram is probably the best thing. Um, and but you can also check www.jamikaajalon.com. That's JamikaAjalon.
That's a radio voice. We'll put all that in the show notes as well, so people can just click in the show notes and check out all of your work.
All right.
Thank you so much for talking with me
Well, thank
today.
you for doing this. I think is a wonderful thing, and it's great. It's part of the what we need to be doing in terms of archiving. So well done, and keep up the good work.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.